Hello and welcome to the Sex Tape podcast, also known as Why Am I Up at 1am. This podcast contains strong language and scenes that some viewers might find uncomfortable. We get into quite graphic detail about couple sex lives and discussing sex generally. So over 18, parental advisory, explicit content. Thank you. Hello and welcome to the Why Am I Up at 1am podcast with me and Kira.
Hello.
Kira is one of my closest friends, someone I got close to after sorting out her film for her a couple of months ago, and since then we've spent some mornings talking shite and bitching about others, but today we are together to watch the Sex Tape, a show on Channel 4 which essentially it films couples having sex, doing a good old shag, and you see their relationship fall apart. So you got three couples in a room, and they just watch each other's sex tapes, and then they give them feedback. I don't know about you, but I would hate to think of strangers watching my sex tape and being like, oh, bit bad at that, isn't she? Can you imagine?
No. But how fucking shit would that be? Like, imagine you walked in knowing your relationship was a bit on the meh side, and then you just have another couple sat there going, well, that's a bit shit, innit?
Well, guys, we just got married and our third child as well. But third is a perfect child, perfect life. And also, he gives amazing head. And then you're just there. Family's falling apart. Sex is shy.
Shit. You think your fucking husband's cheating on you.
And you just have to watch yourself get torn down in front of a group of couples. And then it's broadcasted on live TV. Welcome to Channel 4. Essentially, if you had to pitch Channel 4 in a nutshell, sex, art, and other weird shit. That's what I'd go for.
Best channel, though.
That is true.
That shit. Naked Attraction's fucking hilarious.
Oh, mate. Next time I
hi,
have to do
my
a
name
podcast.
is Dave. I'm a paramedic. I've got 3 kids, and here's my massive cock.
And my weird tattoo no one knew about.
Yeah, I got with my third ex-wife.
That's why I have so many crosses on my butt cheek. Naked Attraction is one hell of a show. Anyone who's listening to this, I hope someone is, eventually. We hope. It's quarantine. You guys have nothing better to do. Yeah, definitely watch Naked Attraction and Sex Tape. So we are going to start episode 1 in a second, but this was the introduction to the entire show. So Sex Tape has 3 episodes, all at half an hour each. We're going to watch them, come back and have a good half an hour chit chat after about what happened. I'll drop in some sound bites and everything else, you know, copyright laws and all that shit, so we'll see. But yeah, welcome to the early morning podcast Why Am I Awake at 1:20am with a cup of coffee and one of my closest friends. See you on the podcast. Hello again, people who are up at 2:13 in the morning, or, you know, whenever you listen to your podcasts. Probably a normal human time. So, we just finished the first section of Sex Tape with Brian and Victoria. Brian is a 35-year-old nightclub owner who can be defined in one word, possibly two words, sleazebag. And Victoria is a 25-year-old ring girl who is so gorgeous and doesn't see her own potential. So their relationship is completely on the rocks. What do you think? That's Kira, by the way. She's back.
Hello. He's such a dick. She is so stunning, and he knows it.
Oh yeah, she's fine.
It's almost like he's using her for like a handbag. Like, you know, like,
yeah.
It's almost like he's using her as an accessory because look at my beautiful girlfriend.
Like, it's like clout. It's like, if I can get my ring girlfriend on all of my social media to promote my nightclub. Like, they're from Scotland, so like small area. But like, can I get my incredibly gorgeous mixed race woman on all of these social media platforms?
Exactly.
Just so I can advertise my own nightclub.
Yeah, he's doing it for like profit, and he said, even mentioned himself, he likes the attentions from girls. He likes the attention of other women, which I kind of get.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they've been together for 3 years.
Yeah.
And the relationship has fizzled out in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first kind of sin that Brian did what they essentially do is they sit around and they watch like a VT essentially about like the relationship itself, and then they look at the sex, like the sex tape, and then they kind of go back into like talking about the relationship and stuff like that. I think his first sinnable offence was the date night fiasco. Kira, would you like to elaborate on what the wonderful date night fiasco is?
He was supposed to be there at 6 p.m, right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to have a date night. They were supposed to get a takeout together. She dressed up all nice.
It looked gorgeous.
She did. She looked great. She put effort in. She was excited to see him, excited to spend time with him, and he blew her off.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't answering his phone. Was his phone off?
No, he just wasn't answering
answering it. Like, nothing. For hours and hours and hours. Like, the video showed the time going by, and just nothing. And she was doing her own thing.
My favourite timestamp was at 8:46. She ordered a KFC.
Oh, yeah. That's a fucking mood, though, isn't it?
That's like, you know, you're having a rough night if your go-to is a KFC drumstick.
My go-to is a KFC drumstick.
And you're always having rough nights.
Wow, yeah.
Point proven.
Call out.
Added on the podcast.
Thank you.
But no, I just think, like, that is his first kind of sinnable offence, is boshing her off in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I've been there. I've let people do that to me. And it's, like, so, like, degrading and horrible. Because you'll be sat there in your dress, in your heels, your shoes starting to hurt, waiting for that text, and you just don't get it.
I've never had that happen to me.
Oh, you're so lucky. Like, it's honestly like a minute of... it's the minute of defeat, the minute you take off your tights. Because you'll take off your shoes after, like, the first 10 minutes, because you're like, I'll put them back on.
Yeah.
But it's when you take off your tights, your sexy underwear, you get into your granny pants, no bra, pyjamas, and you open up Deliveroo and order your KFC. That is when the night ended for her, was at 8:46. And he strolled in at 12.
I don't like his excuse either.
What was his excuse?
It's like, I turn my phone off, I don't look at my phone on a night out. But through most of that video, all the time that he's spending with her, he's on his phone.
Yeah. It is very much
Are you seriously telling me this guy who isn't addicted to his phone is not checking his phone on a night out?
Yeah, it's like he's saying, like, you're not good enough for me to, like, check my phone.
But also, who else is he fucking texting or possibly seeing when he's ignoring her?
That, yeah. I think I liked how she handled that, though. Like, the minute he walked in and laid in bed, she was awake and she was like, why did you do that? Mm-hmm. And he explained it, and her just being like, you're so selfish, you don't care about me. And, like, just actually telling him how she feels.
Yeah.
She, like, really, really, voiced it properly, saying, you're selfish and only think about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is very clear. And there was also, like, a physical discomfort. Like, obviously, because we're watching the video, we can, like, see how uncomfortable she is when he hits the room.
Mm-hmm.
And it's heartbreaking. She said that, like, there's nothing worse in a relationship than feeling alone.
Yeah.
And honestly, that broke my heart. Because, again, been some horrible relationships, and I can second that. Like, when someone you love is meant to be by your side, and they stand you up on your date night, the first one you've had in ages.
Also, a date night in the house.
Yeah.
Was it a date night in the house? They were supposed to go out.
They're supposed to go out.
But, like... What? How hard is it for, like, him to text her and go, right, I'm at this place, if you meet me here, then we can head off?
Or, like, we can have a few drinks here, I'm with so-and-so, let's hang out.
I'll be a little bit late, shall we push it back to 7, or say 7:30?
Yeah.
Like, I'll let you know, I'm really sorry this or, like, keep in communication, like, even if you're going to bin her off, because you've got other things to do, at least fucking tell the woman, so she's not sat there wondering what's going on.
Especially when you live with her. Like,
yeah.
When you live in separate houses, I feel like that's, like, it's still a horrific thing to do. But, like, you're not waiting for them to walk through the door.
Exactly.
And looking at the time, like, every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way he tried to, like, replicate his sins and, like, fix them was by, like, buying, like, dinner and, like, cooking naked.
I thought that too. I was like, it's almost like, I'm going to treat you to something nice because I know I fucked up. And, like, I get it, it's an apology. I do understand, but it's almost like she was very distracted from this offset and there was not much spoken about it.
Yeah, but that's such, like, a weak thing as well. Like, if me and my partner got into a massive fight and the next day he came in and made me dinner, I'd be like, so, I do this for you every fucking night. Like, if that was the case.
I'd also, like still be like, right, before you got to try and treat me all nicey, do you want to give me a proper explanation as to what you were doing?
Or like an actual conversation about what happened and how
why
it's
you shouldn't
affected
do it
both
next
of us.
time, or how you can stop it happening next time.
Yeah, and how we can like communicate fluently so that like next time this happens, we're not both like either completely devastated or like upset.
Mm-hmm.
The noises in the background is just Kira shuffling because she has a bad hip.
Repositioning my legs.
Repositioning her legs. So, his next sackable offence, which is my favourite one, was... So, in my notes, I've written, he invited friends around to have a party. And,
oh, my God.
And in his explanation for the party said, so anything can happen, me and Victoria met on the night scene. And then he said he felt like he was missing out on a Miss Scotland party. So, he just fucked off.
He went to another party. He held a party because he says he loves parties, and then didn't even attend his own.
Not only did he not want to attend his own, he didn't want to go back to his party, which is my favourite thing.
Because he was having fun with his friend.
Yeah, but like, invite him to the party that you're already holding at your house. Unless you're cheating on her.
Like, I'm convinced he is.
I mean, all of us are.
Like, there is no way that he is not. And he has before.
Yeah, and I also think the fact that, like, when they were sat at the table and she was, like, trying to talk to him about her problems, he suggested firstly having a threesome and then saying that he's set in his ways and won't change. And her being like, I don't want you to change, I just want you to treat me right.
She's like, I just want respect. She's like, it's a two-way street. I'll give you respect if you give me respect back.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Completely fair.
I'm like, it's not even like she's not voicing what she wants.
No, not at all.
She is voicing what she wants. She is telling him, you need to do this because you're being a prat. And she's not being unreasonable at all, actually.
I feel like asking your partner to reply to your text when you have a date night and asking him to stay at a party you're holding that he decided to set up is in no way unreasonable.
Not at all.
I think if my partner did that to me, the party thing, I would hit the roof so fucking hard.
I think I would too. Like...
There is, like, no way you can make that okay. Like, yeah, naked brunch, but, like, seriously?
Can I point something out? After sex,
please. Yeah.
Did she come?
Nope. Let's talk about the sex scene. I love that. Amazing segue. So in the show they have a sex therapist who is watching all this stuff and, like, suggesting things to a couple. So it's not just, like, you know, fun.
A couple sat in a room watching each other's sex
watching
tapes.
each other's sex tapes. Glorified dogging, but no. There's, like, an actual, like, sex therapist there. And she said that the sex seems shattered and tired and that they just wanted it to get it over and done with.
Did. She's like, oh, can I turn the light off now? Or can I turn the light on now? Like, it was literally like bang, 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 bang. Oh, he just rolls off.
Yeah.
And they faced away from each other. It's like, okay, well, he got off. She's clearly not having a fucking good time.
It's not even like there was, like, an embrace at any point. It was literally just like, and we're done.
It was bog standard missionary as well.
Yeah. Like, there was nothing interesting in that sex.
That's not a bad... Bog standard missionary isn't a bad thing.
If that's your stroke, then, you know, go with it. But, like, the fact that they decided to turn away from each other, turn the lights on... Like, obviously, after sex, there's some kind of cleanup, but, like, you could at least kiss the person, or, like, give them a hug, or, like...
Spoon.
Hold them for a minute, like, opposed to just getting up.
But it's not like their entire sex life is built off missionary and being vanilla. They even stated that their sex life, when they first met, was...
Like, crazy,
a bit more on the kinkier side.
And she'd, like, come all the time, and now she's not coming at all.
It was, like, the best sex of her life, and now... they're both not delivering, and he's just not bothered anymore. And I'm not being funny, but if she doesn't want to have sex with him, I wouldn't be surprised, because he's doing, well, sweet FA.
Well, like, as she said, like, after they tape it, like I said, they kind of talk to a couples therapist. They got talking about, like, giving and receiving head. I apologise to anyone. There will be a warning sign at the beginning of this podcast.
Not safe for work.
Not safe for work. So he says in the podcast, as you've already mentioned, that he cheated on her in the past, and that's when everything went down.